Today, we dive into a story cloaked in glamour and drenched in darkness. Kat Torres rose from the slums of Brazil to the bright lights of New York's fashion scene. With whispers of a romance with Leonardo DiCaprio and millions of followers, her life seemed like a modern fairy tale. But behind the glow was a hidden empire, a network of control, deceit, and trafficking, all disguised as healing. How did this influencer become the architect of a twisted spiritual cult? And how many lives were destroyed in the name of her illusion? Kat Torres was born on October 24, 1992, in Belém, Brazil, a city known for the natural beauty of the Amazon River, yet infamous as one of the world's most dangerous places by 2016. But for Kat, the greatest danger wasn't in the streets, it was at home. Her father, an alcoholic, frequently unleashed brutal violence on his wife and children. Her mother, weak and submissive, lacked the strength to protect her daughter from the cycle of abuse. In this environment, Kat grew up with deep insecurity and helplessness, emotional wounds that would later shape her personality and behavior. To cope with her pain, Kat likely developed a psychological defense, dreaming of escaping the slums, not just to live better, but to reclaim power over her life. This fierce ambition became her early driving force, but also planted the roots of selfishness and lack of empathy. She began seeing the world as a harsh place, where only the strong survive. At 18, Kat's talent was recognized by Model Management, one of the world's top modeling agencies. It was a turning point that lifted her from the slums of Belém to prestigious runways in Europe and New York. By 2012, at just 20 years old, she won the Beauty Queen title at a competition in São Paulo, opening doors to collaborations with luxury brands. One success after another helped her craft a flawless image, a girl who rose from poverty to fashion stardom. But her success didn't heal past wounds, it only masked them. Kat began to see herself as the center of everything, someone worthy of worship, while living in fear of her humble origins being exposed. Kat seized every opportunity to boost her reputation, including letting rumors of a relationship with Leonardo DiCaprio circulate when she was 22. Though later revealed to be fabricated, it showed her willingness to manipulate public perception for attention. Her motive was to maintain fame and power, but her actions also revealed a lack of empathy. She showed no concern for how her lies affected others. Success in fashion only amplified her need for admiration, pulling her into an endless cycle of ambition. In 2015, at age 24, Kat faced a major crisis. She was diagnosed with necrotizing fasciitis and underwent a mastectomy. The ordeal shattered her lingerie modeling career and cut off financial support from Mr. A mysterious Russian tycoon who had funded her lavish lifestyle. In the depths of despair, Kat turned to ayahuasca, a hallucinogenic plant ritual, seeking psychological healing. The health crisis and abandonment by Mr. A reignited Kat's childhood, fears of rejection and loss of control. She spiraled into instability, displaying a blend of narcissistic personality disorder and delusional traits. Her belief in mysterious voices signaled a break from reality and a growing conviction that she had a special mission. This marked her shift from ambitious model to manipulative figure, using delusion as a tool to dominate others while hiding her vulnerability. Kat rebranded herself as an Instagram influencer, posting inspirational quotes and life advice. This was more than income. It was her way of regaining power after losing her modeling fame. Her goal was to maintain a flawless image and control her followers' perceptions. Increasingly self-centered, she targeted emotionally vulnerable people, exploiting their pain for personal gain, a sign of emerging antisocial traits, disregarding others' well-being to serve her own ends. By 2017, Kat's Instagram following reached 1 million, turning her into a full-fledged social media sensation. She released a memoir titled The Voice, claiming all her success stemmed from a supernatural voice guiding her path. Kat soon launched high-priced online courses and spiritual consultations, targeting people in crisis. Behind the scenes, she lured young women to live with her under promises of high salaries and free mentorship, only to enslave them, forcing them into harsh labor and even illegal activities. At this stage, Kat had fully assumed the role of a psychological manipulator, operating her network like a small-scale cult. Kat wasn't just chasing wealth, she sought deification, to be the divine figure at the center of her self-made universe. Her continued use of ayahuasca likely deepened her delusions, reinforcing the belief that she held divine authority over others' lives. Kat also demonstrated a deep dependency on power, a psychological crutch to soothe her childhood fear of abandonment. She severed victims' ties with their families, confiscated their IDs, and used spiritual threats to prevent them from escaping. Her methods resembled cult leaders, using fear and dependence to solidify control. Kat enticed girls like Anna with promises of luxury, but subjected them to slave-like conditions. She staged bizarre rituals, demanded victims alter their appearance, and forced them into illicit work, including stripping at nightclubs. She kept their money and documents, using threats of magic and violence to keep them under control. Obsessed with maintaining her lavish lifestyle and unable to accept the loss of her sponsor, she targeted emotionally fragile individuals for both profit and psychological gratification. Forcing victims into criminal acts reflected her ruthless lack of empathy, a deeper drive to shift her pain onto others and watch them suffer in her place. By 2022, Kat's mental state had severely deteriorated. She publicly declared herself the reincarnation of Jesus and a witch, urging her followers to attack Anna, a former victim who had escaped. Kat was arrested by the FBI based on Anna's testimony. Yet, even in custody, she denied all charges and blamed her victims. In November 2022, she was deported to Brazil, and by July 2024, she was sentenced to 8 years in prison for crimes related to modern-day slavery. In this final stage, Kat exhibited the full profile of a manipulative offender with antisocial personality traits, a lack of remorse, habitual lying, and disregard for consequences. She rejected responsibility, claimed to be framed, and made absurd excuses, including insisting the $21,000 she took from a victim was for Uber rides. Her denial revealed not just moral detachment, but a delusional belief that she could still control reality. Still, her manipulative abilities remained intact. At the police station, some victims even defended her, a testament to her deep psychological control. Kat didn't see herself as a criminal, but as a victim, a defense mechanism that protected her narcissistic self-image. Kat built an organized criminal system, from financial fraud to coercion and forced participation in illegal activities. She attacked Anna online, issued threats of violence, and attempted to flee the country during the investigation. Even behind bars, she maintained her innocence and worked to preserve her image. Her core motive was to protect her ego and retain power, even if only in her mind. Kat feared exposure more than punishment. The collapse of her carefully curated identity would shatter her sense of self. She continued manipulating victims for control and profit, clinging to her luxurious lifestyle. Her utter lack of remorse revealed that she had no intention of changing, driven by the delusion that she was a divine, untouchable force. Kat Torres's journey is a chilling portrait of a wounded soul consumed by unchecked ambition and psychological manipulation. What began as a desperate desire to escape poverty evolved into a life of deception, control, and criminal exploitation. Her psyche transformed through each stage, from insecurity and ambition to narcissistic and antisocial personality disorders, amplified by ayahuasca abuse and social media pressure. Her traumatic childhood bred a hunger for control. Modeling success fed her narcissism, but deepened her fear of being exposed. A health crisis triggered instability and delusions of power. She built a cult-like empire, driven by the need for dominance, wealth, and dependency. Her downfall revealed a complete lack of remorse and detachment from reality. Kat's crimes, fraud, exploitation, coercion, reflect a ruthless lack of empathy. Motivated by power, luxury, and the urge to displace her pain onto others, she used beauty and intellect to construct an empire of psychological abuse. The Kat Torres case is a dark reminder of the dangers of manipulation and the illusions we trust online. What do you think about Kat's mind and motives? Share your thoughts below.